Hey guys, what's up? Jared here, Decks and Dice, Ramblings of an LGS owner. Just want to kind of do a quick little video because I've only got about 30 minutes before we open, and I'm already the morning has been weird. I'll put it that way, weird and stressful. Anyways, uh, Mason from CNA Games did a video a couple of days ago talking about Star Wars Unlimited and the failing game, blah blah blah. That's not really what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is the yes, I'm going to be fiddling with something all the time, guys. It's part of my quirk. Um there was in the comment section, apparently, I guess it was one of his locals or whatever, mentioned some stuff about him, charging scalper prices or whatever, killing the community of Star Wars because of charging the scalper prices, or something like that. And while valid, and while Mason did give a rebuttal to that was, it made sense, like, yeah, okay, Mason now runs both spots. He doesn't have a business partner to be held accountable to, so forth and so forth. Like, he gave a very professional, HR approved response, essentially, which is par for the course, I guess, if you have two shops like that and are, yeah, anyways. My thing with that is that I don't care if it's Star Wars, One Piece, Pokemon currently, Magic, whatever TCG it is. MSRP is not achievable by normal run-of-the-mill LGSs. It's going to be your big box stores like Target, Walmart, all that good shit that can get reliable restocks and can sell at MSRP. Yes, there are LGSs that will sell at MSRP. I know this for a fact. There's one in the next town over from me, about 30-45 minutes away, that sells everything at MSRP, which is great. I understand. It looks great, like optics wise and all that. Great for your community. I understand all of those little minute pluses that there are for doing this, and if they can continue, sorry, can continue to do that, great. They're getting favor with the locals and all that, but there's also supposedly another big name LGS moving into the area as well at some point in time, so maybe they caught wind of that, and that's why they've been doing it recently, to try to get ahead of the game with like some good karma or something. That's just my personal tinfoil hat theory, okay? So just moving on from that. MSRP is not going to happen because we normally, like us normal stuff, normal shops, we can't get restocks, okay? We can't get restocks, and everything is coming out in these weird waves now, like One Piece, Pokemon, they're coming out in waves, where like if you order 60 boxes, you'll get 25 the first little wave, and you get the rest in the second wave, and it's a huge pain in the ass, but I get it. They're just making sure people get some of the stuff. But anyways, MSRP is for being able to have reliable restocks to where once I sell out of the 50 that I initially order, I can order 50 more and have them here at the shop in a 2 to 3 day ship period, processed and everything, and back on the shelves in 2 or 3 more days, either if I run out or I notice I only have 5 left and I do a reorder. That is what MSRP prices kind of more or less represent, or being able to accomplish. MSRP is a way more of a velocity thing than it is a hardcore, like, set in stone rule, because it's in the name, manufacturer suggested retail price, okay? And I just heard a whole bunch of you tell me to go fuck myself because MSRP gang and blah blah blah. Hold your titties. If what I just explained doesn't explain why we don't necessarily charge MSRP anymore, then I got nothing for you. You obviously don't understand it beyond the superficial, well, I'm paying more than MSRP, which means that either there's a 75% chance that you're looking to buy it just so you can flip it yourself, crack it open to sell singles or whatever. You're looking to profit off of that in some way, shape, form, or fashion. There's another 25% of legitimate, man, I just want the cards to play. So I understand. But MSRP is there for a reliable churn, man. That's what's there. The manufacturer is under the assumption, which they shouldn't be anymore, but they are, that their products are going to be just like, dime a dozen, fucking you can get your stuff when you want to reorder it. Yeah, everyone gets 1,000 boxes. Cool. That's not that way anymore. And hasn't been for about 2 years now. Maybe even 3, but probably more like 2. Because everyone and their brother wants to get in on this TCG game. And like Rudy says and everyone else, this will all come crashing down at some point. And a lot of people are going to get butthurt when it comes crashing down because they think this is going to be the way it is forever, which it isn't. Shouldn't be, because this is actually really fucking annoying. I would much rather, like I keep telling my locals, man, like I would much rather be able to get 400 boxes of something and sell 400 people one box than have 400 people and only be able to get 50 boxes, right? And since I can't get a reliable restock to be able to make any kind of meaningful churn and burn, like long tail-ish, like flow of money, yeah, I'm going to charge market prices for the 50 boxes that I have because, let me hear it, supply and demand, right? That's the main thing there. So the people griping at Mason about, him doing scalper prices and stuff like that, the dude has 2 stores, probably between 2 stores, he's 15, 20-ish employees, I would assume. Because, fun fact, for those of you that might not know, your employees cost you a shit ton of money. Like, let's just throw random numbers out there. Like, let's say you pay your employee $200 a week. Random numbers, please. Just stick with me. $200 a week or whatever. And so, okay, that's $200 that you just, boom, have to fish out right there. Whatever their taxes are, you pay pretty much a mirror of the taxes they pay. So, like, if they pay, we'll say $80 in total with taxes, you also pretty much pay $80 in their taxes as well. So they're not just costing you $200 a week, they're costing you $280 a week, give or take. Just like I said, numbers. So, yeah, where we can squeeze in a profit, we're going to squeeze in a profit. You might not like it, and understandably you don't like it because, again, we really don't like it. We would much rather be able to do the 400 booster boxes for 400 people thing all day, every day. We can't. So we won't. And that's just that. You can by all means hold out for Target, Walmart, Costco, whatever, and do your thing there. Good for you, boo-boo. You do you. Like, get the bag kind of thing. But even with shops that do sell everything at MSRP, and I'm not talking about the ones that just, like, the day of sell MSRP, or, if you're one of the locals and you come in the day of or whatever, it's like you get 1 box at MSRP. I'm not really necessarily hitting those. But if your LGS or whatever just constantly sells at MSRP, and let's say that because I'm pretty sure, at least with the way the market is working now, they probably run out fairly quickly, within like 2 or 3 days of anything launching. It's because it's a good deal, like everyone's wanting something because you can go to MSRP, but I'm more than likely willing to bet most of the people that come in to buy are the ones that are trying to just churn, burn, flip, and be done with it. And I don't want to say that LGSs like that are helping feed the scalpers, but obviously they are. But like, you can't just expect everyone to do that just because, like I said, the supply isn't there, the demand is there. We can't get restocks whenever, like it used to be, back in the good old days where you could just call up your distro and be like, yeah, man, hey, I blew through those 6 cases. Well, I've only got 1 case left of that 6. Please, line me up another 4 on this order here. So you've had constant sources. Like you never really ran out unless it was a like unicorn scenario. So you can't just keep being mad at us for charging scalper prices because there's no way in hell that we can keep our lights on when we're capped at 5 cases of something with no sign of a restock or reprint until 8 months down the road when like no one really gives a shit about the product anymore. And that's one thing that aggravates me with what WotC is doing. Like, yeah, okay, they're doing some Edge of Eternity's reprints and some other random stuff coming up. Edge of Eternity's is great, don't get me wrong, but at this point in time, everyone who has gotten something, everyone who wanted anything from Edge of Eternity's has already gotten it. So the restocks are good, but they're ill-timed. I don't know, like I know they're going for, what is it, like 180-ish, somewhere around there on TCG Player, which is fine, I get it, there's still like a demand, but most likely everyone has already gotten anything, so if you get a huge amount of that on restock, you're probably not going to sell through it as quickly as like during the launch, obviously, but still, the point remains. By the time we get restocks with WotC shit, it's pretty much no one gives a fuck. You're better off getting 1 or 2 cases from this restock stuff and hopefully selling through that and just being like, cool, because oddly enough, you can't really sit on shit anymore either. Like, you used to be able to do that. You used to be able to just sit on stuff and be like, okay, cool, like, yeah, I know that, in 3 years that's going to be an extra $50 a box or something. The supply isn't there for us to be able to do that shit either, so it's kind of like, it's dumb for us too. But anyways, I guess that's kind of all I wanted to say in this little rambling thing, was that, like, sure, I understand where that person was coming from with, trying to, give Mason one there, and I guess maybe he did, but like, it's just, you don't necessarily understand the intricate workings of Mason's business, or just something stupid like my little place, man. All you have is that initial sticker shock of like, oh, this is expensive. Why is it expensive? I hate everybody because it's expensive, and fuck you. It's that way for a reason. If you want to be mad at anyone, write a strongly worded letter to Asmodee or whoever prints Star Wars or whatever, man. It's not our fault. We have to get in our money to keep the lights on so you have a place to come and play, sit down, enjoy stuff with, whatever, Because, like I said, we can't just pick up the phone again and be like, hey, man, send me 5 more cases. It doesn't work that way anymore. Hopefully someday it will again when everything bursts and all these like fair weather LGS fucktards are gone, in the best way possible. But still, and like distros stop selling Pokemon and everything else to like gas stations and car dealerships and boutiques and all that shit, where like there needs to be some kind of a line in the sand where it's hey, are you an actual hobby shop game store, or are you a 7-Eleven just trying to stock Pokemon, or are you a Staples? Because I've seen them in Staples too, trying to stock Pokemon. Like, there's no sense in that there's designated actual businesses for that kind of product. But anywho, I'm going to get off of here, guys. I rambled off for about 15 minutes of what I had. I got more stuff to do. I just want to get a quick video out there. And no, I'm not white knighting for Mason. I'm just saying that I saw the video and it sparked this because I understand Mason's point of view on that, because you can't do MSRP unless you want to be completely sold out, fuck yourself in the end, and help scalpers continue scalping. Because if you sell it for MSRP, they're going to come in, they're going to buy your limit or whatever it is, and then they're going to go to 19 other different places and get their limits at MSRP, and then Facebook Marketplace for 4 times the amount. Like, that's what's going to happen. But anyways, this time I'm done. I swear. I pull Rudy's a lot where it's like at the end of this video and it's like midway through. Anyways, gonna get stuff done, possibly. Like, share, sub, figure this out. Help me figure this out. Help me grow this channel. Being able to actually like make a little bit of something off of this would be phenomenal. So anyways, life is not a dick. You don't have to take it so hard. You're a trash can, not a trash can't. Keep that in mind. And I'll see you guys in the next video. And if you're in the southeast like I am, hold on to your titties for this weekend, I guess, to see what kind of a winter storm we will or won't have. But yeah, good luck, guys. Take it easy.